Southeast Radio's Business Matters with Karl Fitzpatrick.
Well, Knightbridge is a private equity firm which has recently purchased two well-known Irish food brands, Freshly Chopped and Scrumdiddlys. The company, which has 6 distinct divisions, has ambitious plans to revitalise both brands and to utilise its global presence to achieve international growth. Kent Lim is the co-founder and managing partner of Knightbridge, and he joins us now to discuss the plan. Kent, before we delve into what lies ahead for both Freshly Chopped and Scrumdiddlys, I'd like you to tell us about your own career and where the idea for Knightbridge came from.
Good morning, Karl. I actually trained with Deloitte in Dublin when I first started my career of college. So I was trained as an auditor. Then I moved on to corporate finance. So I was involved in receiverships and corporate finance advisory. After moving on from Deloitte, I went on to hospitality. So I actually joined Chopped as a franchisee. I was involved in the senior management team. How Knightbridge was formed was purely because with my previous experience knowing the property game, and also my business partner, Buckley, was also a boutique property developer. So we catch up every morning, and we've been exchanging ideas and contacts. So we have a lot of mutual contacts. We're actually seeking for advice and knowledge on certain unique investment opportunities around land development, social housing. So that's how we started Knightbridge, because we were advising close contacts as a friendly gesture. To slowly, people were asking, okay, do you mind if I put, $500,000, $1 million with yourself? Will we go on investment together? And slowly we think it's a good idea to actually form a private equity firm. So we officially formed Knightbridge back in May 2023.
So talk to us about the global reach of the Knightbridge Group, Kent.
Yes, Karl. We started from Dublin, but because of my business partner, Buckley, he was heavily involved in London, and a lot of his contacts is coming from London. So, and also my family are residing in UAE, in Dubai and Abu Dhabi, and with our own background from Malaysia. So we would have presence in London, Dublin, UAE, Malaysia, Singapore, and also Hong Kong.
And how is Knightbridge funded?
Knightbridge was funded by a family office and also a wealthy individual. So how we started was we actually have a lot of kind of Eastern investor that is currently residing in Dublin. So they come to Dublin, Ireland through the Golden Passport scheme. So apart from relocating the whole family, they also bring a level of wealth into the country as well. So a lot of them, when they were residing here, they were looking at in the market to see what else could they invest, or what could they be doing in Dublin.
And in terms of its developments division, social housing is a key area of focus for the company. So how does the business approach its social housing development investments?
Yes. So the reason we identify social housing development as a key focus is purely because these area is operating in a off-market environment. So usually how we got our property sources, we actually get it from contacts, from auctioneers, from receivers, from professionals in corporate finance. We don't actually get property sources from open market. It's very rare that we actually approach any open market property. So we get property let's say 5 or 6 houses or 10 houses in the same estate, that requires certain level of refurbishment, but non-public members wouldn't go near this kind of property. So we would buy them purchase them in bulk, and put in our own development team to refurbish and flip them onto a housing body. So that is how our social housing refurbishment business is operating. And on certain areas, we would actually look at land an acre to 2 acres, and we would go through the planning permission phase and develop from scratch. That could take 18 months, 24 months, and could be 12 to 15 apartments.
So what type of investment solution does Knightbridge typically offer to its clients?
For a bigger scale project, some of our investors would actually come in as a JV partner. They would be sleeping partner, but they would be given full transparency on how the project is being developed. Certain entry-level investor, for example, our entry level will be 300,000, or someone with $500,000 or $1 million putting into the funds, we would lock in for at least 18 months as the minimum, but usually we would encourage 2 years up to 3 years, and return rates will be given based on. So the longer the period is, the higher the return rate is.
Kent, over the last number of years, we have seen over 600 cafes and restaurants close in Ireland. But you still believe that it's a great time to get into the hospitality sector?
From a Knightbridge perspective, we were seeing this from a completely different perspective, very similar to back to 2010, 2011, when the market crashes. And if you look at the high street at the moment, for example, let's say Grove Street, Henry Street, and most of the high-profile locations, if this is back in 2018 or 2019, like you would pay a premium to get into this location, or you might not even get it. But at the moment, it's actually tenant market. So if you walk across Grafton Street, Henry Street, or all the high-profile high street locations, a lot of vacant units are available. A lot of restaurants, fully fitted kitchens, fully fitted units are actually available in the market, and landlords is not even asking for key money. As long as you have a strong covenant, as long as you're happy to take up the lease, they will just lease it to you. So the way from Knightbridge perspective, we just think it is the great timing or the best timing to enter into the market. But of course, that comes with the COVID. It needs to be financially sustainable, because I do think it's currently for hospitality is survival mode. So it is very challenging to trade in the hospitality market at the moment, but we just waiting for the next reshuffling. So that's how we look at hospitality investment at the moment, and we are actively acquiring brands that has great potential and operating in the right space that we are eyeing on as well.
And what type of savings are you getting on those leases in prime locations today, over and above what you would have got 4 or 5 years ago?
Wow, I would say massive. Just for example, like back in 2017, if you were to get into a lease in Grafton Street for, let's say, 1,000 square feet, that kind of retail unit, you'll be end up paying a premium just to get into them. But at the moment, if anyone wants a unit in Grafton Street, you can just walk in, snap it up. Like, no landlords be asking for key money. They'd be more than glad to actually take you on straight away.
And Kent, as I mentioned at the start of the interview, Knightbridge has recently acquired Freshly Chopped and Scrumdiddlys. Starting with Freshly Chopped, what attracted you to this particular business?
So Freshly Chopped is a brand that I actually know inside out. I realized that the brand was actually one of the cool kids in the block like 12 years ago. So if you could remember, when Chops just started in the very early days, there was always big queue to the door. And I even remember my encounter to Freshly Chopped as a customer before even I was involved as a franchisee. And so basically, I'm a carnivore. So I would never order a salad, in a restaurant setting, or, I wouldn't even think about having a salad. But Freshly Chopped was actually the first salad to join the queue and pay for the salad and actually enjoyed it. So there is something very unique to myself when it comes to Freshly Chopped brand. I think the business model, the brand proposition is very attractive, but I do see there's an opportunity on the brand. I do see a rebranding of the brand and, regenerate the brand again. Like that would give another new life, a second life on the branding. And also the opportunity is not just on retail. So for me, I was actually eyeing on the ready-meal market. So you're pretty much aware there's a lot of brands that compete in the ready-meal market. One of the market leader would be Fitfoods from Brian O'Leary. So I kind of know Brian O'Leary from his story, how he created Fitfoods from scratch, from 4 or 5 years ago, from creating a brand from 0 to 100 million valuations. And I do see Chop tapping into this ready-meal market. There is a market for Chop, because I do think there would be an audience that would be happy paying a slightly more premium compared to whatever is available in the market on the Chop branding. And of course, from a flavor profile, from a portion, from health, like we were providing slightly more on compared to what is available in the market. I do see a gap when it comes to fitness ready meal. I feel like there is a potential yet to be unleashed for Chop in the retail market, in the retail range. And it's not limited to ready meal. This could be a protein bar. This could be a juice. This could be, a frozen frozen yogurt smoothie. It could be anything. It could be even a healthy snack.
So, Kent, when do you expect that freshly chopped products will be available in supermarkets across the country?
So we are actually currently developing prototypes, like plans undergoing, and I've also been talking to a few parties to be a joint venture partner, because I believe to really unleash and tap into the potential for the retail range or ready meal is not just about funding. It's about the right contact, the right channel, to the right distribution partner. That's what I'm looking at. We haven't finalized, but my aim is to have all this kind of up and running by Q2 next year.
It's an interesting concept, I have to say, and I wish you the very best of luck with it. Now, more recently, Knightbridge acquired Scrumdiddlys. Remind us about Scrumdiddlys and the success which it had achieved in the Irish market.
So Scrumdiddlys for me is a very exciting and interesting Irish brand. I have at least 3 or 4 simple operator groups, from retailers, from forecourts. So from a company owner perspective, I would foresee there'll be another, I would say 5 to 6 stores before end of this year. We have been speaking to partners in UK, the UAE market, Dubai, Abu Dhabi, and also I have a close contact from Malaysia that has expressed an interest to bring Scrumdiddlys to this international market.
Well, if you've just tuned in, that was Kent Lim from Knightbridge, and I'm excited to see how these brands grow over the coming months and years.
Southeast Radio's Business Matters with Karl Fitzpatrick.